PR Connections Radio presents. This episode of Thinking into Results is brought to you by Classy Communications PR and Advertising. Classy Communications provides public relations and marketing solutions for businesses, professionals, and nonprofit organizations. They can deliver the true meaning of your business with press releases, social media marketing, web development, email marketing, book publishing, and much more. Wherever your potential clients are, they can help you connect with them. Visit classycommunications.net to learn more about their suite of services that can help your business stand out from the rest. Classy Communications is your solution for business success.
I guess you can be very successful without one, and probably some people do. But I would not have accomplished anywhere near what I have accomplished without a mentor. I have had a number of mentors, and my whole life has changed dramatically. I went from going nowhere to having a business that operates all over the world. If you want to win in a big way, you want to get a mentor. It's almost like getting a direct pipeline from their mind to your mind, where you're gaining all their wisdom, all their experience, and all the studying that they've done over a number of years. And like that, you get it all in a short period of time. Are mentors important? Well, I'm going to tell you, mentors literally changed the course of my life. Let's take a look at what Thinking into Results is and what it could do for you, how it came about. You see, my life had changed dramatically. I went from earning nothing to earning over $1 million a year. And I was sitting one day and I was thinking, how did all this happen? Do you know, I was reading Think and Grow Rich. I was studying Earl Nightingale's material. But a lot of people have read those books and studied Earl's material. And they weren't accomplishing what I was accomplishing. So I had to ask myself, what am I doing so different? You see, I had been raised to believe if you're going to earn a lot of money, you've got to be really smart. I was earning over $1 million a year, and I didn't think I was that bright. I was also raised to believe if you don't go to school, you can't win. Well, I hadn't gone to school. I went to high school for about 2 months. I didn't have a good job. I owned the entire company. If you want to be happy, healthy, and prosperous, it's all here. Thinking into Results is going to show you how to get it. If what I've said really triggered something in your mind and you're thinking maybe, contact the certified PGI consultant, hit the button, leave the information, do yourself a favor, sit down and talk to them about what this program can do for you. This very well could be the decision that will change the rest of your life.
Thank you, Bob. Welcome to Thinking into Results, sponsored by S&J Mentoring, snjmentoring.com. Good way to reach us. You can leave your contact information. But today, we've got a real interesting topic today. The mystery of sex transmutation, your high-octane fuel for success.
That's right.
I'm going to turn that over to my associate, John Gage, and you're in for a good show today.
Thank you, Sid. Well, yeah, the title is Transmutation of Sexual Energy, your high-octane fuel for success. And I'm sure there are people that were going, oh, they're going to talk about transmutation of sexual energy. I'm sure that they turned in for something that this probably isn't going to be, but we do talk about the power of sex and how it can change anyone's life, male or female, whether your partner is male or female, it doesn't matter. This is about how the energy is transformed from your love for this individual to a creative and productive way of life, way of thinking, way of changing who you are. And I mean, I can honestly say, and I know you can vouch for this, Sid, that 5 years ago, well, 6 years ago now, my life was completely different. I was a different human being. Would you agree to that?
Oh, yes. I've seen you really grow. I think it goes back to, I met you around 2015, 2016.
2017, actually. You want the date? May 5th.
Let me write that one down. Oh, well,
But
you certainly weren't laughing then.
no, I wasn't. And you know, I had a different life back then. I had different things that were affecting how I thought and how I did things. I thought a certain way. I thought things were going a certain way and they weren't. And these are all things that changed, but the situation I was in, I'm not going to get into details. Nobody needs to know that. The situation that was in was making me very unhealthy. In the beginning of 2019, I got a heart murmur. I'm sorry, not a heart murmur, but chronic AFib. I couldn't slow my heart down. It was just a murmur is an understatement. I couldn't get it down below 125. Felt like I was running a race, and like, you know, by the end of the day, I was so exhausted. I couldn't function, and it took the whole year to get it down to where at a livable level. And when they measured my refraction ratio, which is the ratio where the heart pumps out and pushes your blood through, it was only a 40%, which was 15% less than a person my age now or then should be at. And my life now, the last 3 years, that's gone from a 40% to a 65%. So not only have I made a 25% increase, it's 10% above where it should be. My heart rate stays down near 65 now on a regular basis with little or no medication. And it's all because of my lifestyle, my beautiful wife that has allowed me freedoms, because the sexual transmutation of energy isn't about sex. It's about taking the love and taking how you feel about this person and taking that energy that you feel that you want to make this person just the happiest person on the planet. You want to do everything for them. You're all excited and you don't know what to do. It's channeling that energy and taking that energy and bringing yourself to genii level or genius, because you're taking that energy and focused it rather than allow it to be chaotic and running around. And you take that energy and you said, okay, I'm going to do something creative. I'm going to make something in my life because I want to make this person that I love, my person, the happiest person on the planet. I want to give them everything they want because it makes me happy. I want to be happy too, but what makes me the happiest is making this person happy, because this person means everything to me short of life itself. And even at that point, I would give mine up. Okay, so that is the love energy I'm referring to. That's the love energy that Napoleon Hill is referring to. That's the love energy that has gone on through history. We talked this weekend about some of the books that were out there. It said, remember, we were talking about like the Taoist. What's the name of that book? Hold on. The Tantra, I believe, is what it's called. Yeah, the Tantra. It's the ancient Indian tradition, focuses on the spiritual and energetic. Learn to read when I grow up. Aspects of sexuality. Tantric texts and modern interpretations explore how to harness and circulate this energy for spiritual growth, creativity, and all around well-being. So not only is it good to use for creativity, it's healthy. In the Tao, or the Tao of Love and Sex. Now, this is an ancient Chinese way to ecstasy. It's by Zhou Chang, for those out there who want to know. This book explores Taoist sexual practices, viewing sexual energy not just for procreation, but as a fundamental life force that can be cultivated and circulated throughout the body. It teaches that by conserving and mastering this energy, this sexual energy that you have for this other person, an individual can achieve greater health, vitality, and creative power. So, how's that worked out for you, Sid, in your lifetime?
My thoughts
I'm
is
just throwing you under the bus here because it feels good. It just started raining here, so I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to have Sid tell me about his energy.
no, the thought, John, no, the thought that comes to me as you're talking, generally, it's directed to your work. Whatever you're doing that's generating the income for the family, that you don't have to be thinking, well, I'm doing it for my wife. You're automatically doing things better than you were doing before. Maybe you're more focused on it. And at the end of the month, you've got more money. That makes you feel good.
More money is always good.
Let me share this one story we talked about earlier, and I'll say it fairly quickly. I was a stockbroker years ago, and the top producer in our office had a commitment with his wife, and that was to have 130 contacts each week. Sunday night, he'd make a list of 100 people that he was going to be reaching out to. And on Friday night, when he was through, if he had the 150, he got to take his wife out to dinner.
Did he ever miss it, just out of curiosity?
Well, when I heard what he was doing, I said, did you ever not do it? He said, well, once I didn't do the 130, and believe me, I have not missed since.
I bet you, because, well, you know, it's very important. That night together is very important to me and my wife. I mean, we're that having that evening time, that one night that we're alone together, the one day or whatever we choose, is extremely important. And I could see where if I made a list and my reward was to take my wife out, I'd absolutely be hitting that. That's probably a good idea. You know what I mean? Now that I really think about that, it's probably a really good idea. But, you know, and it's not, it's about taking that beautiful energy that you have that you don't know where to expel it. And we'll talk more about this next week too, because this is going to be a 2-part series, by the way, everybody. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I want to talk about a couple examples through history that have done this. And I know you know about one. The other one you probably don't know as much about as I do, Sid, but Napoleon and Josephine. Napoleon did a lot of great things. They may not have been good things, but they were great things. They were things that most people today couldn't accomplish because of his love for Josephine. You said you kind of watched the last movie about Napoleon. What was that about? What was it about? His war accomplishments? What was it about?
Well, it's interesting. I think it was a year and a half ago. I still remember my sister had seen it, and it came up, and she said, "You're not going to like it." Well, I didn't know, but I'm still going to go see it.
Right.
And I would say the battles, that was less than 20%. That might be being generous. It was all about his relationship with Josephine. And I'm not afraid at my age now to admit, it brought a tear to my eye. I'm not afraid to cry in movies now. But the story of Napoleon with these great ambitions, they didn't say he was doing it for Josephine, but he was really driven. We all know he was driven.
Well, but there was that famous letter that he wrote to her. It was a love letter about how he's doing all this for her. And, I mean, we understand that most of what he did was to do exactly what I talked about, to please her, to make her life better. I mean, as much as you think about it, you know, I talked about my boss and his husband when I was younger, and how he was motivated by his love for his partner to increase the stores, increase the income, and it was amazing to watch the growth. Because when I was moved from, I was in a store in Oregon, I was moved to a store on the coast of California, and that was a store that had jewelry in it. So we were piloting the store. I didn't realize at the time that it was his husband's store, and his husband was fronting the money for that store. So I got to learn all kinds of neat things about jewelry, and this store ended up being like a really successful store. We did in this little tiny community on the coast. We were doing like $250,000 in a month. We're talking 30,000 people. We were just really a busy store, and we did a lot of good in the store. But it was all driven by these two guys that loved each other and wanted it to be successful, not just for themselves, but for their employees. I mean, they treated me really well. And it was a great job. It was a good learning experience. But I didn't understand their motivation until recently. Does that make sense at all? Because I was in my 20s, and I don't want to tell everybody that I'm going to be 60 this year, but I'm going to be 60 this year, and I'm just now learning this, and I'm learning how actually amazing and beautiful what they were doing for each other was, because I see that in my own relationship now. I see that with my wife. I say, "Hey, honey, what do you?" And she'll give me ideas. We'll talk, and she'll give us ideas. She'll tell me, "Well, I don't think that's working." She'll watch the show and she'll critique it. And believe me, she's harder than probably anybody else out there, with maybe the exception of myself, because I'm pretty hard on myself. But that's a toss-up. I'd have to throw a coin for that one. Yes, go ahead, Sid.
You got a great story, but you reminded me of a diamond story, and I'll tell it really quick. It just happened to be my 18th anniversary of my marriage. Couldn't wait till 20. And I had a friend that was selling diamonds from an office.
Okay.
That wasn't a regular store. And I found a diamond I liked.
He wasn't carrying them in his teeth, was he? Because that's suspicious if they're doing
this is a big, it was $5,000, and it was pretty big, I think.
I'm just checking.
Okay.
I've seen James Bond, okay?
Okay, yes. Well, just to tell it quickly. It was $5,000,
Mm-hmm.
and then he showed me another one. It wasn't quite as big. It was $8,000, and then he compared the grading of the two. I went for the $8,000, not to have to tell my wife that, but I felt good getting a better diamond than I planned to. And that was a long time ago, and my wife has passed, and my oldest granddaughter has that ring.
Oh, nice.
So that makes me feel
it's nice to get something that you can pass on, because the ring's going to last forever. You know, the stones, unless you crush them somehow. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. I mean, seriously, that's a great story.
Well, John, I'm ready to hear your story. You only shared a little bit with me, but you have a great story of success and love.
I do, and I'm saving it, for now, because it's getting towards the end, but I want to talk about a music artist, and I'm sure everybody knows it's going to be Ozzy Osbourne, but I kind of want to talk about how sexual energy is really, and I don't even believe he knew that it was, because we talked about this, and we talked about how sometimes you don't even realize that's what it is. But Ozzy Osbourne had been playing with Black Sabbath, I don't know since 68 or 69. I was introduced to him in 1970 by my cousins. So Ozzy has been in my life for a long time. And in 78, he was fired because he couldn't stop taking drugs and drinking. And this is a man that went into a depression, considered killing himself. His life was over because he no longer had a music career. Because without Black Sabbath, who is Ozzy Osbourne? And his manager was Sharon's dad. I don't know how many people knew that, but Sharon's dad actually managed Black Sabbath. Well, Sharon convinced, because her dad was dumping Ozzy. He's a waste. He's a drunk. He's a drug addict. He's not gonna amount to anything. And Sharon's like, well, then give him to me. So she ended up taking Ozzy under her wing. Of course, she saw he was cute and what have you, but she pulled him up by his bootstraps, literally, and said, no, you can be whatever you want to be, the woman behind the man. And I've been listening to a lot of Ozzy interviews, a lot of things where he talks about why he wrote this song, why he wrote that song. He would pull from headlines. Miracle Man was about, what was the name of that minister that had a big fall with a prostitute back in the 80s? I forget his name now. It's insignificant. I remember Ozzy, So,
John, is that Jimmy Swaggart?
Jimmy Swaggart, that's right. That's Miracle Man was about him, and so he was inspired by other things. One of his best songs, Mama, I'm Coming Home, was literally written about Sharon. So when you listen to him talk in interviews and you saw the Osbourne show, he relied on Sharon for everything. When I saw him in concert, he talked about his wife. In interviews, he says, well, if Sharon hadn't have pulled me up and she stuck with me through everything, and I won't use the language that he uses because we're, on a podcast here, but everything about his success was Sharon. Sharon always sat in the audience. Sharon made sure that the tours were a specific way. She made sure that the bands that toured with him were these type of bands. Sharon managed all. Ozzy didn't do any of that. All Ozzy did was write songs and sing. Sharon was literally the force behind the man. And all of the songs that he wrote had some sort of inspiration from what she did. The Road to Nowhere, it was about how he had all these issues and was pulled up by her. This is today's example about sexual energy can be transformed into that creative outlet that is advantageous for you, for your family, for those around you. Look at how many jobs he created. Look at how many people know who he is. He's got almost 3 billion downloads for his music. There's no artist out there that can say this. Why? What's the reason for it? Is it because Ozzy himself is a genius? Have you seen him talk? Have you seen him reason through things? No. But because he had this love force in his life, he was able to take that energy and lift himself to this genius level. And his music is phenomenal. You may or may not like it, but he's touched every genre of music, and has sang a tribute to Ozzy Osbourne, which I find is interesting. So he had this great effect, And I can tell you right now, if it was him by himself, I don't believe he would have got past 1980. And that's the truth of the matter. He's just, and I can tell you right now, and he got healthy. He got sober. You know, he started trimming down. He started looking a whole lot better. You know, and of course, his last few years, he got a wreck, but that was, you know, and he got some other issues. But ultimately, there's healing properties to this. Look at the healing I'm going through. You know, not just with Ozzy, but with me. You know how sick I was. I mean, I spent 2 months in the hospital before I got together with my wife. And when I got here, she didn't realize how sick I was. And when I was in the hospital, they were discussing cutting off my legs from the knees down, both of them. My legs. Because I could feel my blood pressure. And now, today, my legs are warm, skin color's back. It's amazing what the human body can do when you have somebody that just gives you more energy than you know what to do with. And if you know how to take that energy and channel that energy into something wonderful, you can make that happen. I don't care who that person is. It's irrelevant. Whoever that person is that gives you that inspiration, you can focus it. You can use that energy to do whatever you want, to accomplish whatever you decide you're going to do, especially if that person is behind you 100%. And next week we will continue this. Was there anything else you'd like to add, Sid, before I close?
Yeah, this is real quick, and it's about John Denver, and he has a song that's called Annie's Song.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw an interview with him on Johnny Carson, and he said he wrote it from getting on a ski lift, and by the time they got to the top, he had written that song. And who was it about? It was about the love of his life, and it just like that, in a couple of minutes, he writes a song.
Exactly. Because that creative, once you give, and we've talked about this before, Sid, giving yourself permission to allow that creativeness to flow through you, you have to say, yes, I'm willing to let this happen, and get out of its way.
I knew you were going to say that. Well, I think you need to wrap it up here, John.
I agree, but you know, this is something, like I said, this is a two-parter. If we could take more time, it would probably be one show, but you know, I just want to thank you for sharing your time with us. And if you wish to learn more about what Sid and I can do for you, visit our website at snjmentoring.com. That's SJ, and it's SJ, not SNJ, SJ-mentoring.com. And we'd like you to fill out the contact request form that's on there. And what this does is allow you to receive a free discovery session. It's about a $250 value. And what this does, it allows us to learn what your unique dreams are, so we can show you how to accomplish those dreams. And that's up to you. Let's have this conversation. Let's see what we can do to show you how to accomplish your dreams. Please like, share, and subscribe. I told you, in a week, I'm going to learn how to speak, but currently, subscribe was the word I was looking to say. It does help a lot. It helps that algorithm. It helps us get out to more people, especially if you enjoy our message. And next week, we're going to talk about Step 10, Part 2, and we're going to discuss why men under 40 seldom succeed. I kind of touched on it a little bit today, but we're going to kind of go into it in a deep dive next week. So remember to visit their website, sj-mentoring.com, so we can show you how to accomplish your dreams. Have a great day, guys. Thank you for joining us.
Did you know your clothing could help balance your body's pH levels? Our cutting-edge fabric technology naturally promotes optimal pH balance, helping you feel energized, refreshed, and at your best every day. Use promo code PRTalk for more info. Tap the link in the description or contact our experts at 702-445-9488 to learn more.
PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.